All right, hey, how's it going? So this is going to be one of my first videos that I do that kind of talks about my road to retirement. Not retired yet. I retired from the military about 8 years ago, and in that time, um, I was basically just 100% focused on the Marine Corps. Started, I think, like the last 4 years. Started working towards my degree in cybersecurity. Ended up uh, getting my degree, graduating before I retired, and I got a degree in basically cybersecurity, information systems security, kind of the same thing. But now I have a job, pretty much working uh, information system security, cybersecurity, stuff like that. Kind of do a little MSP kind of stuff. Do on-prem, pretty much all the cloud stuff. Yeah, it's been a journey. So I've been out about 8 years, and uh, I'm not working for another 15 years. I'm about uh, I'm approaching 50. I'm about a couple years from 50, and fingers crossed, if all goes well, we don't have an economic collapse or anything silly like that. I'm going to try to retire around maybe 55. We'll see. If everything's going well and have energy and I still like my job, I will continue doing it. But we'll see. But like shortly, once I started working, um, I actually started, making pretty good money, and I was between the military disability pension and having the cybersecurity job. I actually started having enough money to sock away at a 401k, the Roth IRAs, and little investments and stuff like that. So, long story short, basically, this is going to be the first video that kind of highlights monthly um, where I am. This is just a simple tracker. It's not fancy. And I kind of migrated from another tracker that I had that when I was experimenting with high yield dividend ETFs and stuff like that, it just got really ugly and really hard to track pretty quick because I kind of jumped into it right when we had like a little small blip, like a small correction, late October, November. And this is kind of where I learned my risk tolerance and where I learned I don't actually like losing money. So kind of shifted things, bought some more reliable uh, ETFs. I'm pretty much not into high yield ETFs, the ones that are paying like over 10% yield, like 50, 60, 70, 90 plus percent yield. You just have too much NAV erosion. Um, so ideally, I'm going to stick with 10% or less. Um, I'm kind of playing with high or not high. I'm playing with stocks that have good track records for dividends and even increased dividends. So the tracker I'm going to show you, it's kind of bare minimum right now, but as time goes on and I feel it's okay, I'll kind of show you more. But we'll go ahead and get into this. Hopefully y'all can see that. Let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger. And okay, it's good enough for now. All right, so as soon as I was able to, I started putting money away into my work's 401k, and that's kind of what I've been doing for the last 5, 6 years, pretty heavily. And within that time, by 2024, that 401k got up to about almost 93k, and then right there at the tail end of 2024, I opened up a Roth IRA. I think maybe the last month, maybe 2 months. I can't remember what it was. By the end of the year, I was able to put $767. So retirement nest egg was about 103 grand. Got pretty hard and heavy into investing. Like I said, I kind of started getting into high yield dividend stocks and playing with some crypto and stuff like that. I had played. I don't even like the word played. I hadn't messed with and invested in crypto even back in 2021, and kind of got out right where it crashed in 2022 to where I didn't really lose anything. It went up a little bit, went down, and then kind of when the NFT craze was going on, I kind of called BS, and I just kind of I sold. I don't think I lost anything, but I don't think I gained anything. But it crashed. Pretty good. Probably could have jumped back in and maybe even had a whole Bitcoin at this point. But last year just started kind of getting back into crypto again. But here we'll go ahead and review 2025. By the next year, or by the end of 2025, all these figures were pretty much updated last month in December. The 401k, traditional 401k, had gotten up to almost 123,000. I had switched doing my 401k money from going to the traditional 401k to I started putting in for the Roth 401k. So I think it's the same account, but I'm just calling it like a Roth 401k, and it got up to $2,200. Schwab, if you kind of notice, I went from 700 to like 17,000. It's like, hey, I thought you could only put 7,000 in. So I rolled over my TSP fund from the military. I had like almost 10,000 left. Basically, just straight into the Roth IRA. I'll pay a little bit of taxes, but I just wanted to kind of get it all in there, so I wouldn't have so many different accounts anywhere. And I couldn't even, because I was part of the military TSP, I couldn't even continue investing in it. It was just kind of sitting there. I don't know if it's changed after the military kind of went to the new retirement plan, but I was on the legacy or the old retirement plan, kind of the half your military salary for the rest of your life till you kick the bucket. So I couldn't. But that's where the majority of that money came from. So by the end of the year, I was up to about 17.5. The very last month, I threw $100. I started a Roth IRA for my wife. Reason being is when I die, all of my disability money, all my military pension, it goes away. Obviously, my wife will get my 401k, traditional and the Roth, my Roth IRA, all the things. But I do want to start one for her to where it's just a little bit more tax-free money, being that it's in a Roth IRA. May not be much, but 30 years from now, she'll outlive me, but 30 years from now, it'll hopefully be a significant amount of money. And between all the things, she won't have any money because I won't be able to provide because I'll be, dead. So I'm kind of looking ahead. Come down to the brokerages. I have a Schwab brokerage. Have about $6,200 in there, and then I have a Fidelity brokerage with about $2,000. I opened a Robinhood account, both an investment account and a managed account, just purely because I kind of wanted to see what Robinhood is like. One of the things that I really like about Robinhood is you can invest in fractional shares. So, like, say, Vanguard ETFs are really expensive. So like if I wanted to get VTI or VO or any one of the Vanguard funds, like a single share is like $600, and if I'm only putting in $200 or $300 a month, that's really kind of hard to do. You'd have to just kind of stash cash or stack cash for 2 or 3 months, then go buy one share. Whereas in Robinhood account, I can just throw $100, $50. I think even as little as $5, and you could still invest and take advantage of some of those good ETFs. So that's kind of why I did it. And then the Robinhood managed account is kind of like an AI robo investing, same kind of thing. They put stuff in high quality ETFs, international ETFs, bonds, things of that nature. I get some pretty good ideas from there. I don't even think I would have invested in half of the ETFs, like some of the ETFs that I've invested in, had it not been for the managed account. Just kind of looking, what are they investing? Oh, okay, what's XAR? I look in it, it's like, oh wow, they're actually doing really good, and you kind of look at the lay of the land, and it's like, oh, okay, I might actually throw some money in there in the Roth IRA or 401k and things like that. So that's why I did that. The Robinhood investing account is purely stocks. I think when I signed up and I put money in, I think my very first, they give you like $5 worth of stocks. I bought Apple. I like Apple. Most of my little computing devices are Apple. But I got other stuff. I had, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is like $1,000 a share. Now I think it's just under 1,000. I don't have 1,000. So like, I think I originally put $5 in there. I think I might have a little bit more since then, but I was able to take advantage of some of the increases, and I think I'm up like 5%. So I'm playing. This is just literally just play money. As you can see, I barely have $250 in there, but over time, if I kind of validate some ideas, or I get more into individual stocks instead of ETFs, I will put some portion of that into the brokerages. Probably not the Roth IRA or the 401k, but I'll probably stick with the brokerages. So yeah, that's kind of where that is. Now, crypto, Coinbase, Kraken, Ledger, Gemini, or Ledger's not really an app, but it kind of is, and crypto.com. You might be saying, why the heck do you have 4 or 5, different crypto trading accounts? Originally, I was on just Coinbase only, and pretty much Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, a couple other like Polkadot, like a couple other cryptocurrencies before I like sold out of everything. And I think like I have a hardware wallet, Ledger. I have some leftover stuff in there, and I just kind of let it sit. When I got back into it, there was a few cryptocurrencies that I kind of wanted to get that weren't offered on Coinbase, so I opened up a Kraken account. And then just kind of looking at what all has happened. I think I saw a lot of commercials or whatever for Gemini at the airport when we went to Europe last year, and I was just like, no, let me look at it. And then crypto.com. So really, kind of what I'm doing is I'm just testing and evaluating all the different apps and the features and stuff like that. Crypto.com has some pretty interesting things where you invest in a basket and it kind of auto adjust your basket to the right percentages, daily, weekly, or monthly, or something like that. Kraken has bundles, so each one has little features, and really I'm just testing it out. And if you can look, like Gemini, $10, crypto.com, $20. It's nothing. But really I'm just kind of testing the features. I should have a lot more emergency savings. But at the end of last year, I didn't have anything. even to include Gemini and Crypto.com. So kind of invested in that just within this past week. But the goal, kind of overall, maybe about 100, 150, 200 a month in crypto. Very, very little on the overall investment. Oh, I definitely probably it's less than 10%. So it's not that much. Coming down here last, my HSA account, I'm pretty much maxing it out also as a kind of shadow Roth IRA. It's they call it like triple tax advantage. I get to put pre-tax money in there. It grows, and I get to pull it out tax free. So it's kind of both the benefits of traditional IRAs and 401ks to include the Roth portion. So I maxed it out for as long as I can until I quit or retire or whatever, with the idea of me not touching it. And when it's getting close to the end where I'm going to kick the bucket or whatever, and this tends to be when people spend the most amount of money on medical expenses towards the end of their life. Hopefully, this is a pretty good chunk of money. If I don't die tomorrow or next week or something like that. So hopefully by then, that will cover the majority of the medical bills. I think as of today, I think they project the average person spending about $400,000. I don't want that to come out of my wife's, stuff where she can, live off of. I don't want to bankrupt my wife when I kick the bucket. So I'm kind of looking at, down the road, all the things, kind of protecting her, protecting the family, and all that. So when I'm out of here, they're not worried about money. So that's it. So into 2025, I was basically really, really close to 170. I'm gonna put my goals probably between all the different things to include stuff that just comes directly out of my paycheck. Probably about close to 4,000 a month, and notwithstanding a market correction or something bad happening, where there's just a massive correction in the markets. Fingers crossed. My goal is to hit pretty close to about 250. If I get it, great. If not, that's okay. We'll get them in the next year. So that's kind of really what I got going on. I'll probably do this update once a month, just kind of showing the slow and steady improvement. Just because I want to, whoever happens to look at this, if you're young, you can say, or you can see, just the slow and steady investing, just it works over time. And we'll kind of come down here where I got contributions. These are, let me make this a little bigger. This, goodness. So, again, these are all the different accounts, almost exactly the same as the other page. This is kind of my goal for each of the investments, and it adds up to about 4,000. So, the Roth 401k was 1,000. I reduced it to just the 6% match for a period of about 2 years or so, so that I can kind of beef up the brokerages. Plan on doing about 500 a month in each brokerage a month. For the time being, wife's IRA about 100. This year, I think we can put 7,500 in to our Roth IRAs. So if I wanted to max that out every month, I need to put in 625. So it's kind of all broken down on what I'm kind of my goal for the month. In January, this is kind of what I've already contributed or invested, and then I'm probably I'll develop this, but this is just kind of what I'm thinking out loud for my next paycheck. So I'll put, I get like 2 paychecks from my job. I'll put $315 in my Roth IRA, 50 in a wife's Roth IRA, and just kind of work my way down the list to where at the end of it, hopefully I'll be here. Um, and we'll see how it goes. You know, if it doesn't work out, then I'll call it audible and adjust. But if it does, I'll just kind of keep on maintaining it with the goal of, retiring, pretty close to when I hit 55. But we'll see. It's just a loose goal. That 55 is not a dead set goal. If I at any point get tired of my job, I'll just retire. Or if the family situation or just life happens, we'll adjust. So that's a video. I'll probably do this once a month, just to update everything each month. And as time goes on, maybe I'll show you some of the other tabs and things like that on specific stuff that I'm invested in. But as usual, I ramble. So this is like a 20-minute video. So I'll keep it short, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, see you.